What's up?
What's up, man?
Nice to meet
Welcome,
you.
guys. Yeah, you too. I'm Eric.
My name's
So
Chris.
I'm Steve. Toby will join us at some point, I'm sure.
What'd you say your name
Oh,
was?
Oh,
Chris?
I'm. Oh, go ahead.
Christian.
Oh, Christian. Okay. Well, that's easy. That's my oldest son's name.
CH?
Yeah.
All right. I like him
Oh,
already.
yeah.
can't, can't trust the CRs, and you definitely can't trust the Ks.
No, those are commies.
My mom tried. That was supposed to be my name, but on the birth certificate in Jersey back in the day, they just spelled it CH. Yeah, they were on my side that night.
There you go. It's funny because I talk to so many people that their name, their mom tried to spell it like a different way or whatever. Like this one girl I talked to in California, her name's Yamaleta. But and if you look up that Spanish name, it's spelled with a Y. But her mom spelled it with a J. Because in Spanish, J is like a Y sound.
Mhm.
But everyone calls her Jamaleta. So it's supposed to be, Yamaleta, whatever.
I mean, they could have shortened it for Gem, and she could
Yeah.
go the rest of her life like that.
Well, she goes by Yami. So, but everyone that sees her on her Instagram, she just has it Jami. So they all call her Jammy. So, oh yeah. My mom spelled my name with a K, Erik. So I was like, why'd you do that? Because I have like three buddies that I grew up with in my area. I went to school together. Other Erics, they were all C's. Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't get RICH.
Yeah, I actually knew a guy from my parents' church that was RICH, and then it was there was another one. It was ERICK that I met.
Oh, no.
Yeah, mine's pretty short. Now, do you go by Christian?
No.
Okay.
When I was young, I used to tell people that's a shortcut to thinking. I don't know why I would say that. I just despised Christopher, even worse. It's just one of those things when you're growing up as a kid.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Christian. Everyone calls me Robo anyway. My
Okay.
last name is shortened.
Gotcha. Yeah, my son, he didn't actually start going by Chris until we started our YouTube channel for Airsoft like 3 years ago. And I had my nickname Erock since like 20 years ago. And then my other son, Colton, we nicknamed him Coltrane like 10 years ago. And then their buddy, Johnny, they call him Johnny Rocket or JP. He goes by JP. So we're all talking like, Christian, what are you going to do for your nickname? You need to come up with it. So we were coming up. There's actually a video, one of our unboxing videos, where I think we had like six of us doing these unboxings, and one of JP's cousins was over and stuff, and we're all trying to figure out a nickname for him. And one of the guys was like, Crispy Chris. He's like, if you ever call me that, I'm gonna smack you in the face.
Does he play airsoft?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is he on Facebook and stuff? Because I've seen someone by the name of Crispy on Facebook, like on the airsoft channels.
No, I don't know. I don't think he gets on Facebook. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Christian doesn't he doesn't get on any social media. In fact, he's really shy. He did not I had to force him to be in our YouTube channel. He did not want to be on video. And the funny thing was, once he started, he was the best one for doing presentations for like gun reviews. All the mystery boxes we would get, we would review all the guns. He was the best one. He would look up all the stats on the gun, like from Evike or whatever. He would look up all the whatever FPS and what kind of magazine and what kind, the length of barrel, all that shit. He'd memorize this fucking thing like easy as hell. And then, so I'm filming and I'm like, are you ready? He's like, he'd look at this paper and he'd be like, yeah, I'm ready. So I say, okay, go. Man, he like flawless. And me and Colton were not afraid to be on camera, but we couldn't spit out 2 fucking words, that had to do with cause we just ramble. So,
Because he's focused in.
yeah, man, he's focused. Yeah. He was so nervous. He was just like, I just want to get it over with. I was like, all right.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Yeah. He's a lot better on it now. So it's more comfortable. It takes a while for a lot of people. Even on here, man, most people I invite for a podcast, especially the women, they're always like, is it just the voice or is it video? And I'm like, it's video for our YouTube channel. I do put these, all the audios of these on Spotify and all the, podcast apps. But it's mostly, I put them on the YouTube channel as well. So they're like, well, I'm not really comfortable on camera. I'm like, listen, nobody watches this thing anyway, I promise you. So
it was more like, well, damn, now I need an hour and a half before the video is going to start so I can get ready.
Right.
That was what they were really concerned about.
I think so.
Is this being recorded? Is this part of it right now?
Yeah, I started recording.
So apologize to all the ladies about the makeup thing. That was just a joke.
No, they're used to it. Well, one of the girls, Drop Dead Drizzle, that's her Instagram name. She was like, she texted me like, I don't know, 2 minutes before we were about to start. She's like, oh, I can't remember. Is this video? And I said, yep. And she's like, oh shit. Okay. Give me a few minutes to get ready or something like that. So we get on and right in the beginning, she was like, yeah. I said, oh, your room looks nice, whatever in the background. And she's like, yeah, that's why I had to, clean up really quick. She said something like, I really didn't just clean my whole room in 5 seconds, It's like, okay. Hell yeah.
So, Robo, what do you think? What do you think we should text Toby or?
What? Yeah,
I saw him on here active like 20 minutes before, and then I didn't.
He does run a store, he has an airsoft shop.
They're an hour behind, right? He's an hour behind. It's 6:15 there. I mean, yeah, 6:15.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's probably still working to close up his shop.
It's not a problem. We can start like whatever, and then he can join.
Yeah, Robo, why don't you text him and just tell him to jump in whenever he's ready, and see if he says anything spicy back. Yeah, so Toby's the founder of the team. And really the lifeblood of the team, even though he's up in Kentucky now running the Kentucky chapter.
Yeah. So he's the founder of your guys' team?
He's the founder of the whole thing.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. So you're in Miami, right?
Yep.
Miami Infidels?
Correct.
Okay.
So he started the Miami Infidels, and now he has moved up to Kentucky. And he created the Kentucky Infidels chapter. So he's now our major of the whole organization. And, he's a vet and definitely where we get a lot of our knowledge of fighting and, just organization and how to run a team. And, he's a character. As anybody must be to do something as crazy as starting an airsoft team.
Yeah, I could tell he was a vet because Laz sent me, and that's how I found you guys actually, was through from Laz from the Tryhards. So
yep.
I think he reached out. He told me he was going to reach out to you guys. So he sent me like 2 days after we did a podcast together. Which was, that podcast came out July 4th. He sent me a video. he's like, hey, do you have a WhatsApp account? I was like, yeah. So he sent me this like 5.5 minute video, whatever, of Hell Day or Training Day or something like that and I'm guessing it was Toby that was up there giving commands.
Correct.
And I'm like, oh, he keeps saying "oorah," that he must be, a Marine Corps vet. So, yeah.
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 The salty.
So yeah, Laz and the Tryhards, those are our brothers. He reached out. He said, we did this podcast and, he really talked you up a lot. And he's like, you guys got to get with this guy. And then the Tryhards have been a real blessing for us. Those are our brothers down here. And, we wouldn't be where we're at in the airsoft world for sure if it wasn't for our brotherhood with the Tryhards. So big shout out to all the Tryhards.
Hell yeah. That's cool.
So I don't know. We could talk about some stuff from our eras of the Infidels, which Toby predates us since he started the whole thing.
I think he's coming on. He was like,
there he is.
I was told 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 Eastern time.
Yeah, 7 Eastern time, right?
Hey, listen, just because I moved doesn't mean I'm out of the loop now. What's up?
What's up, man?
What's going on, brothers? How are y'all?
What up, brother?
Good to see you.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Right
Oh,
on.
yeah. Good,
Steve,
man.
You look great on film, Steven.
Thank you. Likewise.
Hell yeah.
What are we doing?
Just talking shit about airsoft.
Hey, I do that well. Just the talking shit part. I'm not so good at the airsoft.
Hell yeah. Well, we started a YouTube channel 3 years ago. My sons started playing. They're all in their 20s, and I was coming out of being paralyzed, so I was stuck in the house. Needed something to do because I was going nuts, and I was like, "What are you guys doing? Let me film it." So I had started 2 previous YouTube channels before that, and then started doing that, and then just about a year ago started doing these podcasts. As we started meeting people through our channel and shit like that, and so I'm definitely good at talking shit just with people on here. So
Brother,
I just ask questions.
I'm going to understand you're a jarhead.
Yes, sir.
Then you know what? Talking shit is what we do best, brother.
I'm telling you now. Oh, yeah. I mean, the work I do, I work construction, and I go in, we flip houses. And some of the guys will come in, and I'm like, what the fuck is this over here? What kind of Mickey Mouse bullshit we running over here, And they're like, God damn, all you do is bitch. I'm like, hell yeah. What? You know how dumb it would sound if you come in with a group of guys and we're all like, hey guys, everything's great. No, everything's perfect. Like, fuck off.
Liar, right?
Right?
No, that's why I'm the major, actually, because I talk the most shit. So, yeah, we definitely on the right page.
Hell yeah, man.
What happened to Kyle? Is Kyle not coming in?
No.
Okay. All right. Just us
Well,
three.
let me know. If you need somebody else, I have to open this up to 5 people.
Brother, I'm good. These are my favorite guys right here. Steven replaced me when I left Miami, and Robati's one of my most favorite people.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Hey, everybody. What's up, man?
That's Montana. He's one of our sergeants. He's a hell of a guy.
Hell yeah.
I just can't seem to get rid of him, though.
Hell yeah. That's how you know you're building a good team.
Are we already recording? What are we doing? Has it got a schedule? Do we got a topic? Do we got any of that stuff?
Normally, well, the topic is just airsoft in general. I've never met you guys. I usually do a lot of research beforehand, before I talk to somebody, and I couldn't find like an Instagram, or I don't get on Facebook, so maybe that's the issue. But I couldn't find a whole lot on you guys. What I've heard is just from Laz from the Tryhards. So
I'll tell you what, I saw the interview. I watched the interview with Laz and Ruth and their team. We owe them a great debt of gratitude. They just couldn't be better allies for us. We ran into them, and they were one of the only teams that really wanted to use us for our military training. We've had some haters because we do go the military route. We are a ranked team that kind of provides, who does what services on the team. When the team started growing and getting really large, it was the only way to really organize to make sure all of our details were covered. We had a large field that we were in that we used for quite a while. It required maintenance, and I'm kind of a stickler about garbage being left in the field and making sure my AO is cleaned up. And when my uniform is on, I'm a Marine again. And, I'm everybody's friend, I'm everybody's buddy. And, you'll ask even these guys, when that's that uniform goes on, they have to ask themselves whether or not I like them anymore or not. Just because I only, I didn't make up the training. The training was taught to me. So to be able to train it, I hear, my SODs in my head. And, and I use that to train the guys. We've been doing it for a long time. And more than anything, we're a family team. We're a family. We do Christmas parties together. The hurricanes come around. We help each other. We know each other's wives and kids. And it's truly become a family. It started in paintball, and it's just progressed from there when we've realized, what greater things that we could possibly do with the airsoft rifles. We were pretty quick to change over to it. And we had a lot of help along the way, but we did like playing paintball for a while. It just had more realism in the airsoft. And it just kept coming and kept getting better. The team has expanded. We have a chapter in Virginia, and I've started a new chapter since I've moved here in Kentucky. I'm trying to build a really highly advanced field now. The team is expanding, and it's because more of a brotherhood than it is airsoft. I love to train. I'm an old guy. I'm 52.
Gotcha.
So just, keeping the old bones moving requires me to get out there, put on the ruck and just do it. So I get a lot of inspiration from these younger guys, and they surprised me. We've won quite a bit. We do really well. We do it for the fun of it, and winning is just a bonus for us. But, the guys like to train. And since I like to train, steel sharpens steel, and I thought, keeping it going like this and keeping that military aspect would allow us to not only have some organization, which is, when you get a lot of people, it's definitely required, but it makes it more fun. People know where they are. People know what they do. We train them for their individual jobs. We're very, very lucky to have really good captains in Miami. And of course, Robati is one of my favorites. It's up in the top corner up there. What's up, brother? And, we just got good guys. We were very blessed with good guys. And when you got a good group of people, other people want to be a part of that. The camaraderie that comes through it. And we're able to actually regenerate the camaraderie feelings that I got in the military. We do have, our yearly celebrations for our anniversaries. We have Christmas parties where we make them sing karaoke and all the possible gayest actual songs you could possibly sing. They've all had to dance Saturday Night Fever as part of their recruit.
Nice.
Nobody dances better than Robati. I just want you to know that.
Oh, shit.
No. No.
John Travolta up here.
I have Hispanic blood, but none of that comes out.
Yeah.
Zero.
So I moved up here and I started an airsoft shop thinking, a town with only 2,700 people wouldn't be able to support it. But I was pleasantly surprised that I can't keep guns on the wall. The sport is growing. I don't really mark it up. We have a lot of poverty in the area, so I just try to get the kids in uniforms. The Miami team was really gracious in sending up guns and equipment and gathering up some stuff to help get some of the guys who weren't able to do that on their own. And, we treat them all like family, whether they've got $1 million or they have to get a ride here. They're all taken care of, and that's one of the things I'm most peculiar about is that we are a brotherhood, kind of like a fight club. If you break down in your car, we don't call a mechanic, we call one of our guys. If I need to be bailed out of jail again or something, we call these guys.
Been there.
And we are a brotherhood. They come to my home. A lot of these guys just came up to Kentucky, and we did what we call Hell Day. All of our recruits have 10 cycles of training before they can be patched. And when they get their patch, they have to graduate a thing called Hell Day. So we make them cry, we make them bleed, we make them pass out, just to show them that they are a lot more resilient than most of these civilians think that they are. And by the time they come out, they not only feel like they've actually done something, they're part of a family, they're part of a brotherhood, they've earned the patch. The patch doesn't belong to them, the patch belongs to me. So when the patch is on their arm, they know ranks are in place, and I'm a representative of this team, and we just want to push the good points of airsoft. And my biggest restraint is that we are an honor first team. You don't call your hits, you don't play for me. Some guy paid his money to come out here and let me shoot at him all day. I like that guy. That guy's a good guy. You know,
Right.
so my enemy makes me better. It's not a real, I'm not having to call a CASVAC when somebody goes down. So, we just want to go up and love on them. And, we really try to strive to keep the honor in the sport. We take care of each other the same way, and we expect that from other people. Some guys are just never going to get it. If they want to come out and just start not calling their hits and things like that, it's no problem with us. We just, we don't choose to play with those people. We like to know that we're surgical and that, we are advancing in what we chose to do, and our training has paid off, and we just hope to play with guys that are like that. So we definitely keep the honor on the team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah, speaking of the Hell Day thing, a couple days after I did the podcast with Tryhards, Laz sent me a video. It's like a 5-minute video of your Hell Day thing, but I don't know if it was last year or this year. Man, I was like, oh, this guy's a Marine right here, because you were barking out orders and you were like, asking for a response. You were like, "Oorah!" And they were like, "Oorah!" I was like, oh yeah, he's a jarhead.
Give you goosebumps all over, doesn't it?
Oh, dude. I mean, that's the thing, I've talked with other people about on here too, is, when you get out of high school, and this is for most people in America, you get out of high school, if you don't have if you don't go in the military and you don't go play, like, let's say college football or some kind of, bigger team sport that you go through some really difficult training, you miss that camaraderie that you had in high school football or whatever sports, and a lot, of course, all of us that went in the military, when we get out, it took me about probably 3, 4, 5 years to start missing that camaraderie. Cause, I was glad to get out. I was glad to change, make that life change. My wife and I started having kids and stuff, but man, after about 5 years, I'm like, dude, and that's when I started playing paintball. Did the same thing. I played for about 6 years, and it was, I never did transition over to, I got out of paintball before airsoft kind of became popular up in Cleveland, Ohio. But, yeah, man. So I love that video.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh, you were born in Ohio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Shit.
I'm from Cambridge.
Oh yeah. I'm from, Cuyahoga Falls or Akron.
Oh, you have some fun stuff to do up there. We don't have any of that. We just got farms and Mennonites.
Yeah, Mennonites. Yeah, buddy. You guys got the horse and buggies out there.
Hey, you know what? I don't miss. I spent the whole life trying to get off that farm, and I'm telling you, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to get back to it. So we bought 20 private acres up in Kentucky. I'm one of those weird doomsday prepper people. So
hey, man,
we moved up and trying to become a little bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah, for real.
Which
I'm with you on that.
For us to play, when you guys came up and we did the Hell Day, we got to play and hang out and do some good stuff and do some barbecuing and shooting some real guns, put some real steel down range, and just kind of expand the horizons. We like to have fun. I'm old, but I got a few years left. I'm just trying to make them count.
Oh, I hear you, man. Well, I'm 51, so we went in, not long after each other. I probably went in a year after you. October, I went in October of '89, Paris Island.
Wait a minute, brother. I went in October in '89.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, brother.
October 11th, and I graduated.
Who were you with?
The reunion
First
party?
Battalion.
Were you? What was your MOS? You 0311?
No, I was 3500. I went in for combat engineer, but I got stuck with driving trucks.
Oh, you're one of the smart guys. That wasn't me. Mine's here's your rifle, go that way. Shoot everybody, don't look like you.
I wish I would have went in infantry because I wanted to build shit because I was in construction before, like in high school and stuff. And then they said the school was full for 6 months, and they sent us to. Well, initially they sent me to Amtrak school, but I had to go. In boot camp you do the S1 or S3, whatever swim qual. So you had to do the highest one for Amtrak, because you know what it is. So the amphibious vehicle there, and I didn't pass. So me and about 20 guys went to Amtrak school. We all failed. Half of us went to Motor T. I think they sent a couple guys to cook. They sent another guy to tank. He never showed up for the school. He went AWOL. Oh. And but yeah, I ended up in motor transport.
I couldn't imagine being in a tank, man. I just couldn't imagine that. We have a guy on our team that we call Tank. He was one of the first tanks into Fallujah, and I tell you, I have mad respect for those brothers.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I don't know. I miss the Marine Corps. I tell you, it's the best. I just tell people it's the best and worst time I ever had in my life.
Absolutely. Same here.
You got friends that you'll never have again, brothers you know to the soul, but then you got stuff that just steals your soul blind. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I really like the airsoft and the paintball. You get the combat sports, you get the excitement of it, you get the brotherhood. You don't have to go to any more funerals, brother.
Yeah,
You know?
I hear you.
You know, it's been a rewarding thing for us. And like I say, having people like the Tryhards and stuff just to make us bigger and to make us better, somebody to train with, is something we're really grateful for. The team is expanding not only in size, but in states. And, you know, the model we have, some people don't like it. You know, there's a lot of haters. We've had a lot of kickback and different things. It doesn't matter. We're just going to do our thing. And people are either in with it or they're not. The guys that are in with it are the guys that are like-minded enough to stay with us. They love it. I don't know anybody who we've had that's been like that that's just going to check out. It's become a part of them, like it's part of me. These guys have truly become my new brothers. You know, I mean, I don't get to see my jarheads enough, and so you know, I got kids, and I really don't want a lot of them around talking about all the old times because then my kids go to school and tell everything that we talk about, and then the people avoid me in the hallway like I'm some kind of mad dog killer, you know. So I try to keep it in the like-minded individuals just so because people understand, and it does give me an out. It's lowered my PTSD. And it's just given me something to look forward to. We can't wait for Sundays. Not only do we get together as a family, but I mean, going in the woods is fun. Going in the woods in camo is fun. Going in with a bunch of your buddies is fun, but coming out with bragging rights that I just shot you in the nuts, I don't think it gets better than that. You know?
I hear you, man. Now, how did you get these two guys? Now, Robo, are you in Miami as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you and Steven are there.
Right.
How did you get these guys on your to be captains on your team up there or down there in Miami?
Well, I owned a paddleboard company and a paddle company with another friend of mine, and we had some kids in our neighborhood that were carrying real guns. And, you know, and it concerned me because I was like the neighborhood father. I was older, and the kids just had no mentorship whatsoever. And I think the guys of our generation just didn't do a very good job of passing down skills like our fathers did for us back in the day. So I kind of became the neighborhood father. When I found out they were carrying live weapons, I went from house to house and I collected these real guns from 15-year-olds. And I was like, look, my wife and I can't afford to do this, but we're going to get you guys paintball guns, and you're going to see that you are not John Wick, you know, that all of you are going to get hit in a gunfight. And by the time it was done, not only did we have a team, not only did we have fun with it, but none of the brothers came back for those guns. And, you know, and I just didn't want that. And it came to where they just kept coming and coming and coming, and we just got more recognition. And it was a good program that we were running. It gave them exercise. It got them out in the woods. And, of course, we had the parents coming by telling us, you know, what the hell are you doing giving our kids guns? And then we also had the parents come by. We had a sheriff come by. We didn't even know that the guy's dad was a sheriff. And he came by and he said, you know, what the hell are you doing? And I told him what I was doing. And he was like, well, I don't know how you did it, but my son is saying sir and ma'am. He's in the best shape of his life. You told him he couldn't play with a C average, and now his grades are up, and we've threatened his life, and it didn't do it. But this means so much to him that he's actually working for it. That's when I knew that we had something, right. You know, and it's, you know, really, it's never been really about me. I just I get off on seeing the change and making people better. You know, these are my brother Americans. We all are under the same flag, and right. You know, I don't see separation. Our team is made up of so many different cultures and nationalities, and we are close enough where we joke about it. I mean, if you don't like to be called a certain name, guess what your new name is? You know?
Exactly.
You know, because you're going to have to get over that. If you're wanting people to accept you for who you are, right. You're going to have to be willing to do that for them. And when I got hooked up with these guys, it just kept getting better and better. Rabati was a friend of mine on Facebook through another friend that we had. And I saw that he was going to the gun range all the time and that he really liked it and he was into it. And like me, he's a gear queer. I mean, Rabati is a gear queer, just like me. We've got, you know, comes out. What?
I just like to look pretty. It just has to look Gucci.
And you do, my brother. And, you know, Steven came to us, and I tell you, there's some men that have really surprised me. You know, Steven came to us with paintball, and he had one of his buddies that was a little bit more into it, and Steven was not the personality that I thought that he was. In fact, he's extremely intelligent, and it's one of the reasons why I chose him to replace me. And when I go down there, because I mean, you can have guys that are tough, you can have guys that are smart, but it's not common to have both of those traits with somebody who's got a big enough heart to reach down and look and see when your brother is suffering. And I would choose that over for my team in Miami than I would choose everything else, solely because this is what's required. You know, you have to be involved with them. You have to make them feel like they're important to you, even if they're privates or they're corporals. You know, those are the guys who do the job, right? Yeah. And our jobs are to set precedents, you know, the captains and the majors and the lieutenants. We're talking to other teams. We're setting up games, but there's still functions that have to happen. So the respect for these guys, even as privates in the initiation, allowed them to feel like they were a part of something bigger, which is exactly how you and I felt when we were, hands down and ass up, so on.
So
100%.
let me tell you the crazy shit that went down when I got pulled into these infidels. I went to Extreme Rage, which is a little paintball park here in Hollywood, Florida. Small place. I think I'd gone there one time. The second time going there, some dude just tells me and my buddy Rambo, who's a sergeant on the team, tells us, hey, you guys should really check out my team in Miami. We're trained by this Marine guy, and we really follow military training, and it's structured. There's a bunch of guys. It's fun. It's in the woods. And I literally told Rambo afterwards, I'm like, I don't trust people telling me to come down to Miami and meet them in a field somewhere. So Rambo goes 1 week and comes back and tells me, yo, this was amazing. We should really get in with these guys. So I go the next week, and my introduction to, this world, which was really an intro to paintball, it was like my third time paintballing in life, was Toby telling everyone right from the beginning, everybody drop your weapons, get in gear, all the rest of your gear, and we're going to run the field. And we started doing laps around this field where I lost my shoe in mud. I was fucking dying. And Toby's just screaming at me. It was really not what I expected. And we do all this crazy, PT, and then we have these fights. I couldn't see anybody in the woods. I was wood blind at that point. I'm just getting shot. I don't see the people right in front of me. And then Toby announces, because the team had grown at that point, all word of mouth. He's like, we're glad that we got a bunch of new invites, but no more invites for now. We're going to cut this off. Let's just train the guys that we have. Anybody who's here is welcome to stay and be part of it. Nobody knew. So me and Rambo were talking. We're like, well, I guess we got to stick with it because this is our opportunity. We just came here, but now we found out we're at the end of this little recruiting period. And it's really been the greatest thing that I've done. It's outside of work and everything else that goes on in life. This is the one constant that keeps me going, keeps me young, keeps me active. And I've just learned so much from it, in so many ways, not only from Toby and leadership, but from everybody who joins. You just learn about different life experiences, and you end up appreciating your brothers for more than what I ever imagined previously. Not coming from a military background, I have to remind myself sometimes that I'm not a vet because, this has really been imparted to us, this brotherhood and this camaraderie and this need to train and to be there for your brothers. And I don't know anywhere else where you could get this, in the world outside of the military, which, that ship has sailed for me. I made my decision in life. So I'm really glad I found this. I've always taken to training, ever since I was a kid. Even in the Boy Scouts, I was always the one that loved being at attention and doing the real regimented training. So this is just a continuation of my life. And I feel it's been a blessing that I found it. And, I hope that in some way I've attracted this to myself, and and everyone that's here has attracted this into their lives, the people who need it in their lives. And I feel like for me, and I'm sure for Robo and for many others, it's really been a needed element in our lives that we wouldn't have gotten elsewhere.
Yeah, like fill the void.
Yep.
Void. And not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, it's keeps you centered. There's a few of us on the team that come from organized sports, whether it was just through high school or semi-pro. I made it to semi-pro soccer, and then it was it. But having that, um, you don't use it in life as much as you expect you would, depending on what type of job you end up doing. And when you have that void for a while, you feel like something's missing. You meet a group of animals, but they have a good heart. And the one constant on the team is we understand that life is constantly throwing shit at you, and you need community. You can't go through life alone, regardless. You either end up dead or just freaking alone.
Miserable.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This type of team, let's say we have 25 in Miami, 12 to 14 are super active or are active, 8 are super active. Let's just say that. These 8, I know 15 years from now, I can give them a call.
Yep.
And that's what's important. It's not necessary to make all 25. That's a goal. But as long as you have that nucleus where we can start bringing others in.
Mm-hmm.
And we're freaking shooting guns, man. I can kick down a door and clear my house with no problem. Pretty much my apartment blindfolded. Before I met Toby, I was good with a handgun, but I never picked up a rifle. Never. I'm left eye dominant. I'm right-handed. So it was a fucking mission. So then I can switch hands. It's like nothing. I just spilled wine everywhere. But I'm doing the motions.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks that they can. All men, I think that they can do this, and think that they would like this. And all men, I think, watch a little bit too much TV. So we have literally, to find our 25 or 35 guys, we've been through well over a couple of hundred, because they'll come out of this and that. Like not too long ago, I had a guy tell me after buying his uniform and his gear, and he's like, well, I got my uniform and my gear, but I get hot. So I don't really want to train, but I still want to play airsoft. I don't really want to come on Sundays and train, but I still want to go to the parties. I'm like, hey, man, I got a job for you at the airsoft shop. I don't need you to work. Just come in and pick up your fucking paycheck. No, I'm not going to do that when I've got guys that are blood, sweat, and tears all of the time who make, the sacrifices to be here, who pay their dues, who have cut grass to get their damn uniforms. I mean, no, I'm not going to do this. It's not fair to them. So, yes, everybody likes to play airsoft, but what we're doing here is we're not playing airsoft. We don't care how the other people do it. This is not airsoft to us. We're together as a family anyway, whether it's paintball, airsoft, go-karts, horseback riding, underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter. These are our boys. We like to cross-train. We like to do different things. We go paddleboarding together. And, I'm a master scuba diver. I like to take them surfing and scuba diving and do those things. And this not only gives you an inner circle to do it, but it's people that you can call who know how you are, that you don't have to guard what you say, and then that you get realism back. And, with everyone trying to be so fake now in society and not to hurt anybody's feelings, oh, please let us know it hurts your feelings.
Exactly.
Because you'll probably have it on the front of your house. It'll be a sticker on your car. There'll be pink.
Oh, we're pushing that button all day.
What's that?
So we're pushing that button all day.
The morning, wait to see who can I just make cry.
Right.
Exactly.
And like if you do something stupid and we catch it on film, you are done. We have people come up to us and say, hey, man, do me a favor. Don't tell people that I did that. I'm telling everyone that will listen, what you just did. Oh, yeah. And that's how we are. And because of that, everybody gets a lowered sense of having to guard themselves. So they can speak freely and they can talk freely. You know, we have all races, creeds, colors, religion that I guess modern society just would love to put a spike through that. But brother, we're the same blood. We're in the same mud. And I'm telling you right now, I am no better than you. You are no better than me. Even though that my ranks are higher, I'm going to make sure you get your ass out of here, and you're going to do the same for me. And hey, man, I need $5 of gas. Can you watch my kids? Hey, there's a hurricane. Will you help me board my house up? This is the family portion of it. We just so happens that every now and then we get to squeeze triggers and get a little bit of bragging rights. And we've been together for so long. The stories are, almost, there's so many that you don't even remember. And you've got these guys to remind you, hey, remember that time? And you're like, oh, dude, this is what I live for.
Yeah, that time you teabagged freaking Idaho.
Better. We had this guy on our team who told us he was a colonel in the Marine Corps. I'm going to tell this fucking story. I swear to God, I am.
That's a different guy. That's not Idaho, but okay.
No, it's not Idaho. But we had a guy, and he kept telling all these lies. So we have a guy on our team named Doc. He was Army, Navy, and Marine. And I had already told this guy, Colonel, with a K, like corn, that, hey, bro, if you tell one more lie to this team, I swear to God, I'm going to beat your ass and you're out for this team. So Doc comes up to me and he's like, Toby, Colonel's lying again. And I'm like, what did he say? He's like, Colonel just told me he's got 3 testicles. I was like, what? I got pissed off. I called him over front and center. Colonel, on deck, in my face. Colonel, did you just tell another lie? No, sir. So you're telling me you have 3 testicles? Sir, yes, sir. You've got 3 nuts. Yes, I do. So I had no choice in front of the whole team. Put them in my hand right now. So I let him put him in my hand, and I'm telling you, that brother had 3 nuts. And then we have another guy. We have another guy on the team who's only got 1. And somebody yelled out, "Hey, Montana, I know where your other nut is." I had to count him out, brother. He had 3.
Holy shit!
I tell you, I've fucking seen it all, bro. I have seen it all. You can die. I can die right now. Crazy. But this is the kind of stuff that we live for, and the stories just
30 seconds of our.
What's that?
That's just 30 seconds of our life, our brotherhood life. That story is only 30 seconds of. I mean, I don't think the military. I know you guys are crazy and you have fucking stories, but I don't know, man. I think we have.
I don't know, man. You ever snorted coke off a hooker's ass? No, I'm just kidding.
Been there too.
I just want to say for the record, the Infidels by no means inventories every member's nutsack. That is not an official position.
Well, I mean, it was the means to an end.
Yeah. It's not part of getting onto the team. That's not a criteria.
Yeah.
No, but we do have requirements, and the requirements aren't to weed guys out. The requirements are to let them feel like they belong to us. Like a lot of us have been friends for so long. If you don't set something up for acceptance, these great things that we don't have in our society anymore of men coming to age and this thing, and they feel like they're on the outside in. But once they've had those trainings and they get to know us a little better and they get to know our personalities, and then once it comes time where they got their ass in the grass and, they're pumping it through the creeks and up and down the mud and on top of the poles singing the national anthem and going over the rules of battle and the punishment things, they come up out of that water, they've got tears in their eyes, and we got tears in our eyes, even though we're the trainers, and some of us are the good guys during training and some of us are the bad guys. Some of them are rooting you on. And I'm just asking people, telling them that you do not deserve the testicles that God gave you. Get your ass up and move. And by the time it's done, when they come out, they realize, wait a minute. This isn't a guy who's just beating me down because he doesn't like me. This is a guy who is sharpening my steel to make me feel equal to them so I can be loved and I can be a part of something bigger. It's their graduation. And I don't care how tough they are, brother, there's tears.
Oh, yeah.
There's tears because they feel it too. And that's what gets me. It's not how well they did or how well they didn't do. It's whether or not I can look in their face and see, yes, I've got a brotherhood. Yes, I've got men who care about me. I've got somebody to talk to. I've got somebody that's going to help me get this gear because my job doesn't pay me enough. I've got a house that I can go to during the week and talk to this major or this captain or lieutenant who's going to sit down and take the time for me. That just isn't available for men anymore. If you talk to anybody that you don't know about it, oh, this guy's a fucking whiner. Men have problems too. Men worry about things too. Even though that I was raised hard and I was raised by Vietnam veterans, as I've gotten older and gotten children. I mean, hell, I cried at E.T. 2 weeks ago with my kid. I'm like, I didn't even cry when this shit came out. And now I'm in here like, fucking go home, man. So I've gotten a little bit softer and, and I think it takes both sides of that sword to be the right leader. Hence why these two guys are who they are to me, who they are to the team. They've got a heart and they're hard, but they open up, and they'll talk to you about real stuff, and it doesn't have to be about airsoft. Matter of fact, airsoft is very little of our time in this team that we have. Yeah, we're an airsoft team and we've got guys, you guys, you're imitating the military. I saw your thing with Laz that said basically, hey, I'm not military, but guys are making fun of us. I don't care. Because by the end of the day,
the ranking patches, how many times? It's always the young ones too.
I don't get that.
Because I've never met old school military that gives a fuck about it. It's always the young ones or the ones that really maybe went in for a year or two and aren't doing anything. I don't know. But that isn't what we do. It doesn't matter. Yes, that's our rank structure. This guy right here, Toby, I'm trying to point. He gave us permission to do it. At first, even me saying "oorah" felt weird. Because
but it's an homage to all of us. And those ranks, brother, I can give you anything. You earned every one of those when you decided to take a job that would allow you to perform a service for other people, because that's who we are. The best masters are only the best servants. So I find the guys who take interest in the actual building of men, and those are the ones that I promote. Not only does it give you a little bit of a morale boost, but it tells our new guys, hey, this is one of the guys who will listen to me. I was told the difference between a bitch and a man is if a sergeant is bitching to a corporal, he can't get anything done about it. He's just a bitch. But if you want to fix something, you go up rank. So that's why I put these guys in place, because they will take their time as older guys to talk to these younger guys. We talk about God. We talk about guns. We talk about girls. We talk about, all the things that have morally corrupted some of the older ones in the group, and try to keep these younger guys from making the same mistakes when you can obviously see they're headed down the wrong road. And if I can just change one, it's worth it to me, but I haven't just changed one. I've changed quite a few and given the power to men who have this same ability, like Steven and like Robati and like Hollywood and our other captain, Carlos, who will literally have the heart and the education to bring the guy next to them up. And I don't negotiate with honor. You're either going to be that guy or you're not. Don't come to me on a team and tell me you cheated on your wife, because now you're going to hear what I have to say about it. And if you don't want to fucking know the truth, don't fucking ask me, because I don't approve of that shit. I want to keep, you can keep your hands dirty, but your heart's going to have to be clean. So if you can get out and row with people and you can build them up and you make them better. And if I have to use a $200 piece of shit fake gun to do that, so be it.
Yep.
This is the world I live in. I have two daughters. What kind of men are my daughters going to be dating if guys like us aren't out there trying to show them the right way? You don't have to live a debauched life to be happy. You just have to have a core group of individuals that you can trust and believe in to help guide you to be better than the guy you were yesterday. I'm never going to be some great guy. But to that guy right there and to that guy right there, I've changed them. And if I can make a change in them that's positive and they can learn to do that other people, I live forever.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel about it. It's just as heartfelt as it is going out and trying to be cool in my uniform or being the hard ass or kicking doors in, whatever. Hey, if I kick the door in and I find out that the guy on the other side who's my enemy is in tears because he doesn't know what he's doing, it's no longer a game to me because he's more important than this. I want to take the kid who's got his head down in the airsoft who doesn't have enough money and say, hey, man, let me throw in $70 so you can get that gun you want, and let me throw you a couple of things that I have to get you into it. And hey, by the way, we've got a team that it's not just got me, it's guys like me. And if you feel like, I'm somebody you can be friends with, then man, I've got the group for you. I've got Marines and Army pouring out saying, man, I just don't know what to do. I've got PTSD. I have nobody to talk to, this and that. I'm like, brother, it's not by chance that you made it to us, because we do have military guys on the team who do understand, guys you can talk to. And we do have the young guys who just don't understand in general. And in being able to take these composite ideas and start spoon feeding them and watch them grow, I don't think there's anything better besides having my own children, taking a 19-year-old kid who was unemployed and wore his pants down around his ass and watch him come in and start saying, instead of walking into a group of men and saying, yo, sup, he walks in, hello, my name is, and so and so. And by the time they do this, they learn that it's not just them, but it's how people are going to perceive them. And that's what I'm after. I'm after building the men, because I just don't think that we did a very good job of this. Probably part of the biggest social issue that we have now. And for any man to say he's not getting this, you're automatically weak. I don't see it that way. I think knowing your weakness is a strength. And if you can come to me and you can look me in the face and with your heart and tell me about the real person, I owe you the dignity and the time to bring up the stripes in that flag and remind you who the fuck we are.
Right.
And that's just how it is.
Hell yeah, buddy.
And I love the job. And the benefits is I get to run with some of the coolest people I've ever met outside of the military. These guys, I can count on them. I mean, how many people in one hand can you say I can count on them? If I called some of these boys right now and said, hey, man, I need help right now, I wouldn't even have to tell them what it was about. They're in the car. They're on their way, and I'm that for them. And that's what I want to be, and I find great service in it. And as long as I am in service of someone that is making them better, then I have wasted no time.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. And it really bleeds into everything that we do. I was just up, when we just talked a few days ago, I was up in Pennsylvania at Invasion of Normandy, big paintball event. And, it's funny being back in the paintball world. Sometimes I'll go there and our gunny went with me. I brought my little nephew. But it's funny to be back up in that world because it's way less serious. And I still take my seriousness to it. And you see how it gets appreciated by different people. And I've even found like-minded people that are still in the paintball world just because they've decided to play paintball. We play with the Wildcard Militias, which is a big group up in the Northeast. They're scattered a few states, and also Viper 6. And these are like-minded individuals that play paintball. And we get out there on the paintball field, and we're securing passage over bridges and over creeks like we would, in our regular training, rather than the typical paintball way is just run towards the enemy and then hide behind a bunker and shoot a million paintballs. But we're sitting there and securing positions, and we're flanking and battle lining and using comms and stuff. And you can really see that when you get the like-minded people together, we whip ass. Like it always works. And then sometimes I'll want to screw around and be silly about it when I'm doing paintball stuff. It's my way of kind of like shooting it without having the stringent guidelines. But I won't do as well when I'm screwing around. And I see it all the time. And I almost any time I'll go in and do one of these paintball events, I'll test myself and I'll approach certain battles and I'll just be for lack of a better term, I'll be more paintball-y, and I'll just run and gun and try to play that world. And maybe it's just because, my training is different, but I'll get shot the hell up when I do that stuff. When I start organizing and getting people with me and calling out my distances and flanking people, timing our attacks, man, I just do so much better. And the training really shows through, and I'll have other people come up to me and they want to conduct themselves that way when they're out there, because they can see the superiority of it. They can see how, if unless you're sitting there playing speedball or something like that, but when you're out in those woods, this training, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. It doesn't matter how aggressive you are, how fast of a gun you have, how many people you have. The training always wins over. And and it's not just the tactics, it's the mentality. I collapsed out there at one point, just like had to take a breather in the middle of this game last weekend. And I had some guy walk up to me, and real nice guy. I don't know who he was, but he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And I'm breathing heavy. And he's like, you want me to get somebody? No. You want me to get you someone? He keeps offering me help. And I'm thinking in my mind, this guy's got no idea the shit I've been through. Like, this is nothing. If I'm not puking and convulsing, this is nothing. So I just had to hop up in front of him and be like, all right, let me show that I'm alive. Because to an average person, me lumped up on the floor, curled up in a ball, trying to catch my breath is bad. And I'm like, that's nothing. If I'm not laying in a pile of my own puke, I'm A-okay. But it's only through this training that, I've gotten there. And, I love applying it in different ways. I like going back to the paintball world sometimes. Not everybody does, but I like to just kind of show off these tactics in that side of the combat world, and it always proves really effective. So, the proof is in the pudding.
Hey, don't let him fool you, man. That guy is full animal. He's all nice and shit when he talks. Yeah, that ain't the case when the helmet goes on, brother. That guy's a fucking animal. There's no joke. I can remind him about shooting me with damn 37 times in the face with a paintball gun. Yeah.
Woo!
He gets.
Well, that's the thing too, man. You guys, when you go there, like you're talking about when you went there, people are attracted to somebody that's excited about whatever they're excited about. People are attracted to passion, and man, I'm getting motivated listening to Toby talk over here. All the shit that's going on, with you guys and your teams and stuff. It brings back that old feeling that I had in the military, and then I raised my kids that way. My wife and I have 5 kids, and we had them regimented, and when they were growing up. Now they're older and they're all out of the house. So, it's always been kind of like that, looking for that camaraderie. But man, when you take that, Stephen, when you take that to another field and you're not with your full team or whatever, but you have that training, you have that motivation, you have that passion about what you're doing, people are attracted to that because there's not a whole lot of that out there. And Toby, what you're talking about earlier, the being genuine, people are missing that. Like the younger guys growing up now, they're missing that because everyone is walking on fucking eggshells when they talk, like at work, and you can't say this, and people are just so shackled. They're shackled, man. They're like, I'm afraid to say this. I'm afraid to think that. Now it's even thinking something, and somebody that's just like, hey, this is how I am. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This direction I'm going in. Lead, follow, or get out of the way, And a lot of people are not used to seeing that. And so, these teams, when you guys go out and interact with other people that don't know, your team, they're like, what the hell? I want to do that, It's a good thing, man.
We find that most of the guys are very attracted, not even to the organization, but just how we feel about it. And you'd be surprised, you get some of these guys that are overweight, they're nerds, they're this and that, and you're thinking, oh, this guy's never going to last. Man, you can be surprised. You can be surprised. Some of the guys I thought would be the best players I ever had, they just weren't into it. And some of the guys that I thought, my God, if you ever stepped out of your mom's basement, and next thing you know, these guys are kicking doors and throwing grenades, and I'm just trying to keep up with them. And you're like, oh my God, these 19-year-olds are running me around. But I just think the investment in each other is going to have to be worth it. It's going to have to be worth it. I'm willing to give you the shirt off my back, but you will take nothing because there is a code of honor in between all of us. And I'm going to look out for you, and you're going to look out for me, and welcome to the family. Because when you inherit my friendship, it's not just me. It's a whole team of us. So what are you going to do to add to this? Because if you just think you're just going to come in and take advantage of it, you are welcome to do that. Everybody gets a turn to burn. But eventually you're going to see why your leadership was chosen and why your leadership was chosen for what reasons. It's not because they're the best fighters or they're the toughest guys or the toughest trainers. They're the ones who can do the most good, I think. And it's not even about being a good leader or being able to kick the door the best, because we all do something a little bit different. By putting all these things in together, the soup just keeps getting better. And as it gets better and as it grows, and, of course we can't do this forever, just like the military or do it forever, and there'll be a time when I have to lay it down. But when I do, knowing that all the work that we've put in through all of these years is going to get passed down, and it has a chance to grow to be something greater than we originally started with. When we started with 5 guys, 4 paintball helmets, and 2 guns, and that's how we started.
Wow.
And it has exploded, and it just keeps going. I think that men are attracted to confidence, and we are confidently having fun. And when you are confidently having fun and you get to learn a new skill, these other 2 guys, they've come so far. You can buy a gun, you can go to the range, and you can become an accurate shooter. You can become familiar with your primary and secondary weapons, but application is what is missing. You talk about all these new gun owners. Really? So you got a new gun and you keep it by your nightstand, and it's got the best Hornady ammo in it that you could possibly buy. Do you know how to clean a corner? Do you know how to get through a door? Do you know how to put an HVT like your kids behind you and be able to circumnavigate where everybody is as safe possible? When to engage, when not to engage, when you're outgunned, what are your options? We have our first rule for battle in this team is 2 is 1, 1 is none. And then we over and over and over again in so many scenarios, even in life, it's the same. The rules of battle are the same as the rules of our friendship. I'm not going to make this without you. I cannot watch my own ass. So we are going to get each other through this mud hole, through this firefight, over this wall. And when we get there, I'm going to look at you. You're going to look at me. We don't even have to say nothing because we know.
Right.
Because we know. And when people figure that out, that they can grow with inside something as simple as a toy gun, but what they're actually growing in is something real, and it's tangible, and it's in front of their face, and they're willing to fight for it. Now, my brother, you got something.
Hell yeah.
What are you smiling about, Roboti?
Yeah, look at him.
You miss me, don't you?
A little bit. I'm a chubby.
What? Hoorah. All right.
Hoorah, baby.
And we just love it. Hey, bro, and thanks for having us here, man. Thanks for doing that. We
absolutely.
We do stay a little bit under the radar. We have gotten some heckles and that. But you know what? I've never been an ordinary person, and I don't expect nobody's really ordinary. And if they are, that's because they've confined themselves to what the rules of society sets out. I've always been an asshole, and I don't plan on changing anytime soon.
Same here.
And I just want to have fun. You can, like you said earlier, it's lead, follow, get out of the way. If somebody came up here with something more fun where I could have a family like this and it was motocross, badminton, or whatever the hell it was, then I would be doing that. But as of right now, I got something I'm not willing to negotiate with. I've got men that I truly love like they're my own family. These 2 guys right here, they're closer to me than my actual blood.
Yeah.
We have so many things in common, and we can call each other about anything and be able to talk to each other on a real term. They know they're going to get a real answer. We don't always have to agree. And just because we don't agree doesn't mean that you're my enemy. It means that we have 2 ideologies, and somewhere in the middle, we're both going to find that path together. And when those things happen, it makes it all worthwhile. It makes it all worthwhile because I've learned, they've grown. You have to feed others, you have to be fed. And these brothers feed me. And it's not just about the love or about the respect. It's about their life experiences and what they've learned that I've never experienced. And what I've experienced is that they will never know about, and doing the best job I can to paint a mental picture so they don't make the mistakes that I made. So they won't have to suffer the things that I've had to suffer in my life. And I'm telling you, brother, they saved me. They saved me because I don't know where I would be without them. I'm going to fucking cry right now. I told you my ass cried at ET last week, bro. I'm soft
shit.
now. God
Hey
gives
man,
Marines girls.
I'm the same way though. That's I've talked to a couple people on here, said the same thing. What I was coming out of, I was paralyzed for a couple years with this illness called Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's like Lou Gehrig's disease.
Right.
So just struggle, man. I'm telling you, and obviously, like yourself, very active since the military. Just constantly stayed busy and moving, and then just stuck in a bed. Uh, Talk about a mind fuck. I was never really had to deal with that before. Even when I got injured and stuff, ankles or whatever, like still get up and move around. But so finding this, when these guys started, when we started our YouTube channel and I started talking with people and interacting with all the, airsoft community through our videos and, just chatting. And then I started doing these, this saved me. Like it really was my therapy. No shit. Like I was blown away by how many, like the camaraderie that I had on here with all guys like you.
It's like people just say, oh yeah, our bowling team is a family, or our this and that is a family, or we get together and we drink beer and we're kind of a family. Brother, there is no exaggeration when I'm telling you that we are the same blood and we are the same mud. And I can't tell you how really close that the men have become. And it's not just because we're like-minded. I mean, we have some guys that are into cars. We have some guys who don't know how to do anything on a car like me. We have some guys that are into guns. We have guys that are into different things.
We have some guys that are liberal.
Yes, and we accept that. As long as you're willing to be teased about it and you can keep, the grit off your cuff, yeah. It's been so many times, but being able to talk to somebody.
Yeah, that's the point. It's whoever. And he mentioned it earlier. You have to at least show a little that I'm about to give a piece of me.
Yep.
And we're going to welcome you with open arms, regardless of what he said it many times, regardless of your political affiliation, which is the stupidest fucking thing ever, the way people fight about that. It's a brotherhood. It's a family. We learn technique and we have a good time. Our airsoft style, we learn everything as if it's real steel. We're not going to throw up into that building to get shot. We're going to go slower. And then we understand that there's going to be people that are going to do that for us, and then we can come in. Or that let's go in because it's time sensitive. I'm not going to die. And we know 2 is 1, 1 is none, and someone's going to pull us out. I don't know how I got into this, but it all has to do with trust, basically.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
that comes from training.
And it does. It comes from training.
Whether one-on-one, someone's bawling their eyes out because something happened in their life. It's all trust, and that's the main thing about our team.
Well, let me tell you what I've seen is, so I went to my first meal sim a couple months ago here in South Carolina at Stonebreaker.
Yeah.
Put on by, it's at GTI, put on by TCA. And I went there as a press pass.
What year? Which one did you go to?
Oh, this new one, just a couple months ago, 2022.
We had a blast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
I met the Tryhards there. Didn't even know. I filmed them in their Hummer, and didn't even know it. And as I started posting pictures and stuff on our Instagram later, they hit me up. Laz hit me up, was like, "Hey, that's us in the picture. Can you send me some of these pictures?" I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." I didn't know who he was, and we ended up doing a podcast together. But what I've seen, like I said, is my first one. Now I had seen videos, my guys, my boys, and then their friend, when they would go and play, they videoed everything. We got GoPros. They would take all this stuff and they'd bring it back. I took care of every video on the channel. I'd edited. So I'm watching hours and hours and hours of all this footage, and they would film like when they get there, even, outside of gameplay stuff. So I'm seeing, so I felt like I kind of knew some of this stuff, but what I really noticed in person when I was there are so many guys. There's 700 people there. If you guys were there, there were so many people. When I walked back, phase 1 had just started. Right after it started, I was up talking to Sal, okay, that runs TCA,
Yep.
and talking to him for a little bit. And I walked back to get some GoPro some GoPro batteries. And I'm walking back, and this is probably an hour and a half after phase 1 started on Saturday. Not long, okay? I'm walking back to the campsite, and there are already probably, I think I saw 30 to 50 guys back at their tents. They had already went out. They were geared up, they were taking their shit off, they were putting their feet up, and the thing I noticed was it was 1 or 2 guys together. They weren't part of a bigger, a team. I mean, obviously green and tan, but when when it's that big, you're not really, there's not an obligation. You don't feel obligated to, hey, I got to stay here and help tan win, unless you're on a team like what you guys had. So I feel like a lot of these guys were just like, 2 or 3 of them, and they were already back at their tents. And one of them was right next to us. I was like, hey, you guys, did you guys go out there and start already? And they're like, yeah, my buddy doesn't feel too well, so we came back. And I'm like, and this was so many. I was like, bro, and I'm looking around going, these guys paid $180 or whatever it was to go to this 3-day event, and they're really missing, they could really benefit from being a part of a team that is motivating, like you guys or the Tryhards or whatever, because they feel obligated, like, hey, I'm going to help my teammate out, But there's so many guys I saw out there that were just sitting back, and I'm like, yeah, they're still enjoying the getaway. It's a getaway weekend, or whatever.
But
with a little bit of airsoft. Your
platform is, and I've noticed this on the third, I'll call national events, because TCA are such big. We have people from all over the world going there. That there would be people that would see us in a group and say, "Oh, yo, that's Infidels. Can we run with you?" And it's like, absolutely. Come on, let's go. The more your platform starts to show the world that there are teams, because we're not the only ones, and Tryhards aren't the only ones. There are teams out there that are either foreign military or they're organized like us, and they're open, they're welcoming. The more the younger ones start to see this, the more that they're going to start to want to attach to us when they go 2 deep, 3 people deep, not as a team, where they're only going to play an hour, and it's so overwhelming, and so hot, and they have no idea what to do. Because these skirmishes, it's a huge place. So a lot of times the majority of the battle is only located in 2 large areas, and these guys have to walk an eighth of a mile to get there. And they're used to very small fields or maybe just CQB. There was a few times, and there was a couple of teammates that grabbed some. It's like, oh, run with us. And I think Montana was one of them that grabbed somebody. Go run with us. That's what's important when we're on the field to do for the sport, and what your platform does for the sport.
Yep.
Well, like you said, I'm wondering if my Infidels picked up on it. Did you hear Rule 4 got broken with what he was saying? Rule 4 is train as you fight. So we don't let our guys take off your gear. Objects in motion stay in motion. So if you strip off your LBV or your vest or, whatever, you're pretty much saying that I'm done, and that's what I'm done. So we do not let them take it off. These rules are set in standard to not only keep us together, to keep us pushing forward, but to the overall presentation of the team is like, hey, man, it sucks for both of us, but it doesn't suck as bad as long as you're right next to me. You know what I mean? If we have to walk it, if we have to crawl it, whatever it's going to take, let's get there and just do what we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and I learned, dude, the last thing you want to do is take off that vest and then put it back on.
Yeah. And that Saturday was the best day of airsoft I have ever had. That Saturday at Stonebreaker, I have never shot so many people in a hallway in my life. I went in with 7 250 mags and pinned down a hallway, and Laz is up yelling, "Send 5 more, you dumbasses!" And they kept sending them, and I just kept killing them to where I had been through everybody's mag in that room with those new flashing tracer units, throwing hand grenades. And I'm telling you, by the time it was done, I had killed well over 100 people in that thing. And my team's just sitting down like, damn, Cap, why don't you save some for us? I'm like, fuck that, So we make them train as they fight. We keep them together. Some guys roll a little harder, but our rules are pretty strict on making sure that you stay together. 2 is 1, 1 is none. There is no possibility of victory in defense. You just can't sit there. They're going to pick your lock until they get you. So you got to shoot, move, communicate. Rule number 3, rule number 4, all of these things are to keep you in the game, to keep you fighting, and allow you know that you're not in there by yourself. You know, we're going to do this together. We're having fun. We paid our money. Both of us are hot. Both of us are sweaty. Both of us need water. I got 80 pounds of gear on, and now I have to go to the Porta-John? Fuck. You know, that's just how that goes. But we can't get enough of it, brother. And those are just the cherries on the pie. Everything else is us training. And if you don't like training, then you probably don't have the right team. If you think you're going to get on social media and send me training videos of how I should be practicing in my home, no. I want to see you in your boots on the field, and I want you to run this because I need you to knock out all the negative scenarios. And then after you feel like you're comfortable with it, I want you to teach it. And then I want you to run it with 2 guys. And then I want you to run it with 3 guys. And then I want you to tell me what are the weaknesses in this particular sport or in this particular action. You know, how many men should you risk? How many men should be in back? Do you need a sniper on the platform? Should an LMG be in your cover? These types of things is what advances us in the tactics because they are not exactly the same as the military. You know, I mean, real steel, and there's things you get away with in this thing that can be used for an advantage. And if everybody else is using it, there's no reason why we shouldn't.
Right.
You know, like going through a door and having a pistol behind your first breacher. You know, that is something we would never do in a real steel situation, right. But it works perfectly. Laz taught us that, actually, from Tryhards. Yeah. He's like, hey, you guys know this isn't real steel, right? You know you can do this. And, man, they've just been such a benefit, such a blessing, and things like your show and things that is just really getting the name of the sport out there. That's kind of what we want to do. The more people we got, the more people we got to play against, and I think the more happy people can be when they've got this kind of outgoing activity to purge themselves and to quiet their world down. Keep your violence, you know, and your mental actions in one row, and let everything else be at peace. You know, raise your kids, work your job, smile throughout the week, because when Sunday comes, I'm going to have my hiding from Steven. You know, that's how it's going. So.
Well, how many? You were talking about rules. So your team, how many rules you guys have?
6. We have 6 main rules of battle, and that basically we make them learn them so they know what to do. Like, there's a couple different styles of leadership, and I have seen some leadership. I'm not going to name any names, but there are leadership that the captain wants to be the captain. He wants to have control of the team, and his men won't really do anything forwarding unless they're under that instruction, which is the old way to me. My way of teaching them is to teach them everything I know so they can think for me when I'm not there. So instead of creating one team with a bunch of guys listening to one guy, I've created leaders out of all of them, and to see who adapts and who's better at certain things. So if I know that I have to breach a building, I'm sending in Robati. If I have to flank a whole group of people and they've got, you know, better numbers than we do, I'm sending Steven. If I need accurate shot place, I've got another guy for things, and utilizing these tools in their best ways to get that done. But when I left Miami, there was the event Serious Viking that came up. It was the first event, or first really anything major, that I wasn't there for my team. And I'm telling you, I was nervous. They were nervous. I was getting phone calls and texts and things like, dude, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do. No. I'm like, dude, you've been trained for this. You've already done this before. This is not new to you. Then when the post came up after they did so well, and of course their side and the Infidels did great, as they always do. I don't think we've lost any yet. And what they wrote on the Facebook page, even though humorous, it made me cry. They were like, brother, we didn't need you there. We could hear you in our head. When Kyle wrote, I didn't even need you, man. All I can hear is you in my head going, don't stay there, motherfucker. You know? Bro, even though it was written in jest, I'm like, I feel like I just gave birth to a black son. This is fucking awesome, you know? And it's just great. And that's what it is. We have truly crossed these cultural barriers barriers in the name of a plastic gun and plastic BBs and bragging rights. And now you can show that there isn't much difference between us. You know, that you don't buy into the theater, brother.
Yeah.
I've got a home for you. What's mine is yours. When you come to my house, that refrigerator is yours. You know, you need a place to sleep. You need some clean clothes. I've got it. And since I've always kind of been that way, just taking care of my Marine brothers and other great friends that I do stuff with, it rolled right over to the acceptabilities of these guys coming in and feeling welcome and being able to play with my kids. All call them uncle, you know.
Nice.
And that's Uncle Robati, and that's Uncle's are a family. And I can't stress this enough, because you'll get other people to say, yeah, we're like a family. No, man, we are like a family. If I'm drinking purple Kool-Aid, so are those motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So
His youngest one gave me my call sign. She's the one that started calling me Robo before anybody on the team.
Nice.
I'm always gonna have.
and they've got a home here, brother. Even though that I'm not there in Miami, you know, they've got great leadership. Steven stepped right in with Carlos and Hollywood, and they feel the same thing. So they didn't lose anything by me leaving. In fact, all we did was gain new brothers. I knew I left it in capable leadership. I knew that he cared. And in the fact that he cared, fuck Airsoft. Fuck Airsoft.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not taking care of the guy next to you, what the fuck are we doing? Because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to do it. And if I have to use a stupid plastic gun to show you and to open up a bridge that I care about how your life is, I care about how you treat your family, and I care whether your kids got enough food, that's what we're going to do. I don't care if I got to have a fundraiser, if I got to be a stripper at a gay bar. I don't give a shit. Your kids are going to eat. Well, Steven hires for gay strippers, brother. Just so you know. So
I'll say that's your side hustle, right?
Not a lot of money in airsoft, let me tell you. I'm going here real soon. But getting together and doing the family thing, you know, like this last time that they were here, like you said you saw our Hell Day video. Well, yeah. I gave an order not to have that put out. Why? Because it deteriorates what we do when people go in there. Who the hell do you guys think you are? You know, this is what we choose to do. I don't care what you think, but it might discourage one of my younger players. I'm an asshole, you know, and I'm okay with that. And you don't have to like me. You don't have to like me. But I bet you if you gave it a shot for a second, I guarantee you would have a good time, whether you like me or not. You know, so I'm just going to keep doing what we're doing. And if these guys are okay with it, then I'm okay with it. If there's something that they don't like, they know that they can come to do the next best thing. Surrounding myself by totally like-minded people never leaves any room for evolving. You know, so when we meet a new guy, and you never know where these ideas come from. They can come from that guy. It's his first day because he fucked something up, and you look at him and you're like, hey, that was actually pretty cool, man. Maybe we can do this. You know what I mean? No man needs 71 hand grenades hanging off of his carabiner, but you never know. I mean, you're our grenadier now, you know, so it works like that. And then the old guys come in, but where it really comes together is when we take care of each other. And that's not on the battlefield. You know, we already know who we are when we step out there. I don't need your approvals. And I'm not here to win or lose. I'm here to be with my men. I'm here to play. I'm here to sharpen my sword. I'm here to be a little bit better than I was last time. I'm grateful for my enemy. I tell all the people who shoot me, great shot. Hey, man, that's great. Now, thank you, because I won't make that fucking mistake again. You know, that was wrong. You know, and that's why when we play with each other, even though that we lose or win with each other, when we play, the teams is large enough for us to play every week against each other. I learn from them just as much as they learn from me. I am not an airsoft player. I'm learning to be a good airsoft player.
I was just going to ask you about the training. Like, do you guys have enough people to, you know, do like scrimmage, I guess, or whatever, you know, because you can't go to an event, you know, especially a bigger one, like every weekend. So you guys train with your own teams?
Yeah, we've got our field in Miami, and we meet up every Sunday. We train, we fight. And, you know, we'll do force on force. We'll also do attack and defend drills. We've got target range. We've built a shoot house. which you haven't even seen yet, Toby. Hopefully one day we'll drag you back down here so you can see all the shit we've built out there. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, we do get to train weekly, and I gotta say, like, I've told these guys the past few trainings, and this is kind of a pretty recent development because we've had new guys that had to learn a lot. There's not a single person out there who I look at and I'm like, I know I could. Oh, I see such and such out there. I know I could go that way because I'm going to run them over. It's scary now because I don't feel that way about anybody. There used to be people that I could think, all right, I'm going after him because I'm going to take him out and take his position. I have to worry about every man out there, even some of the youngest ones that, will have like little cousins and nephews of people that they'll bring and that have just trained for us a handful of times, and they're out there killing people. They're getting their hits, and it really is a testament to the training, and it feels so good when we take that to the Serious Viking or to Stonebreaker, and we're in this big stage we're on with all of these other players. And I just know that if I'm pinned down, and Lord knows we get pinned down at times, and we're often against teams that are better funded than we are and have more guns and more ammo and just more equipment. They'll out equipment us all the time. That's kind of a regular thing. But if I hear some infidels coming around the corner, or if I hear some tryhards coming around the corner when I'm pinned down somewhere, I look at my enemy and all I think is, you're fucked, because my boys are here and you're about to get your asses ripped out of this position. And we have it all the time. It's so funny. Like that, the first Stonebreaker we did, we had so many situations where we're coming around the corner and tryhards are pinned down somewhere, and infidels will come running around, and you'll hear the tryhards say, "Are those our infidels?" We're like, "Yeah." And then you just hear the screaming because they know that some asses are about to get whipped. Or we're pinned down somewhere and we hear Laz coming around the corner, or Tia screaming around the corner, and we know that someone's about to get their asses handed to us and we're about to move on to that next objective. We just know automatically that when our brothers are around, we know what they're going to do because we've trained for these scenarios, and we know how they're trained, and we know that they're not going to back off, and they're not going to make this some war of attrition. They're going to hit them hard. We can predict each other, and we're going to take out our positions and move on. And man, it just feels so good when we're able to show and prove out there in the world. That's why I don't never worry about, I hear the same things, outsiders will critique and criticize all they want. But, I'm always calm about it because I'm always just like, that's fantastic. Can't wait to see you out there. It never turns out how they think it's going to turn out.
Exactly. Like that Hell Day video that you saw, you're going to have more negative response than you will positive. But for us, it's everything. And yes, it's different. It is different than everybody else. I mean, it's not different for you and I because we know that that's lightweight compared to Paris Island or going to ATI or AIT or any of that, or recon school or SEER or any of the other things. Those little light attributes that you pick up from there and add it to this, they fit well and they build confidence in men. And if you can build confident men, you've built peaceful men, because there's a big difference between being peaceful and being what's the other word? Harmless. A lot of the people, they want to be harmless, and harmless, we are able to do great violence, but not to, because we know what could happen.
Right.
And like, back to Laz and them, if it wasn't for their team and our team playing each other, they have a different style than us, and we're able to learn to adjust on the battlefield playing against them. And it's just making both of us better. They're getting used to us. We're getting used to them. They're learning. We're learning. I could not have purchased for millions of dollars a better friend and better ally than the Tryhard team. We love Laz. We love Laz's wife. She is the feminine side of our team. But that is one tough lady, brother.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't get enough of them. I just can't get enough of them.
Best staff sergeant ever. She
Hoorah.
is the freaking poster child of what a staff sergeant should be.
Oh yeah.
I was the one that photographed Laz and her with the engagement shots of them in when they were on your podcast and they showed the image.
Yep.
Yeah, I was the one that photographed them. I loved it.
Yeah, he was the photographer for their wedding, and that's what I mean. Like
But
Go ahead, brother.
yeah, not the wedding, but the engagement shoot.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. We use our real world talents to try to help each other. You know, if I needed to buy a house, we got a guy who's a real estate agent. If I needed to get a car fixed, we have a mechanic. We try to keep the money in the family, you know, to keep it close and just keep blessing each other to know that each other's going to be okay. Also gives us an excuse to hang out and talk shit. But, you know, I mean, if I'm getting my car fixed, I'd rather have it done by an infidel who knows, hey, he's got 2 little girls that are going to be in here, so I'm not going to leave the screw out of the brake pads. You know what I mean? Those types of things.
Right.
You know, so we do, and you know, we want to be a family. Like I said, we don't really care about the outside influences. We're doing what we do, and we have found enough people that like it. The door is open for everyone. Everyone gets a turn to burn. We really want to just bring in as many people as we can, and it's not about the airsoft. We want to bring as many people as we can to try to change the lives. You see it on their faces when they come in. People are tired. They're hungry. They're poor. They're weak. You know what I mean? There is, hey man, let me know.
They're looking for what you guys are doing. Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, how would, you know, if somebody watches this or listens, how would, and they live in your guys' area, how would they, you know, join your guys' team? What's the process there?
We do have an IG. Robo, what's our IG? I can't recall, but we do have an IG, and we also have a public Facebook page.
Miami and
I think it's my infidel milsim on Instagram, right?
I don't remember.
No,
I have so many. I think it's Miami _. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Robo's who I turn to for that shit.
Me too.
Well, I guess even on the field, like if somebody met you guys on the field, what is the process that somebody goes through to get, like, hey, where do I show up to try out?
So yeah, that's a great question. You know, we don't play in public places generally. You know, in our regular training.
Sorry.
What's that?
Fight club.
Yeah, it's kind of a fight club. But we do have a lot of guests come. We gear our guests up when they come. So yeah, someone meets us on the field and they're interested, and you know, it seems like it's a good fit for us. We will invite them out. We will give them, we'll give them a pin of where to meet us. We just had someone recently, you know, where we always have people come in and check us out, and we'll let them come run with us. We're happy to have them. If they don't have gear, we'll gear them up. I mean, their entire outfit, if it's necessary, we'll gear somebody up, and we'll give them a little taste. You know, we're not trying to get people out there and immediately start roughing them up. You know, so we try to be super gracious and understanding that people are coming from an outside world, and give them a perspective. Let them have fun. Let them get a piece of the training, and explain to them what it is to be an infidel. You know, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot of obligation to it when you decide to do that. And we're very open and upfront about it. And we say, if this is what you want to do, then come back next week, and we're going to put them through the training like we all went through the training, and they're going to come train with us weekly, and they're going to start from scratch. And if it works out, you know, hopefully they stay in until they get to their hell day, and, you know, they're going to learn a lot about themselves. They're going to be a good fighter, probably, you know, already by that point, and they're just going to get better and better. And, you know, when they earn the patch, then that's it. They're a brother forever.
Now, do you guys have one hell day a year?
Yes.
No, we have been lately, because we usually try to get 12 or 15 of them together, so suffer together a little bit, you know. And I don't let their families come or anything else. The guys deserve right to suffer in private. You know, I don't want them leaning against their wife on the sidelines or their brother or buddy. I want them to look at the guy in multicam who's throwing up next to him and goes, "It's going to be me and you, dog, and we're going to get the fuck up out of here." You know, because that's the resilience that I want. And what Steven just said could not have been better said. That was exactly who we are. You know, we just want to love on people. There's nobody that we are ever going to shun or think that this guy can't make it. And even if they're weak, those are the guys we want. We're going to build you up our way. And if you come to us strong, we expect you to get stronger and teach the other brothers to be strong too. Whatever you have that is good in your life, bring it to us and we will show you how to make it better. And we will show you how to share it with other individuals who might need it. You know, because none of us are perfect. You know, none of us are multi-millionaires. None of us are. But what we are is full of honor and full of trust. And we are somebody that you going to be able to count on us. You know, when we talk to you and you talk to us, you're going to see that we're very real. You know, we're a very real thing. Even though that, you know, we look scary in our stormtrooper shit, at the end of the day, when my shirt comes off, there's a hole underneath there, and you're going to see that. You know, hey, man, you hurt your ankle. Let me help you off the man. You don't have enough money to get home gas. You don't need to tell anybody. Come on, let's go get what you need. You know, and that's just it, man. So it's, you know, it's friends and family, this and that. And I just think that the men have grown. I mean, even these two guys here, they're already adults. I can, just in the last years I've been with them, have grown as men. Forget airsoft again. I'm just saying as men. You know, and you expect growth when people get older, but it's how they grow. You know, and they can grow towards getting more money or getting a bigger house or things. But when you're growing towards a unit of men that you know that you're just adding to the group and you're just making things better for everyone by bringing them, and you're making him better, there we are. We're done. That's it. Because we're not going to squeeze triggers forever. But like he said, in 20 years, I'm going to pick up the phone and call Robo and say, "Hey, man, you want to come over? Bring your water." No, I didn't. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Are you even going to be alive then? You're an old man.
You see how you talk to me? I want 20 push-ups right now.
Yeah,
He's
there you
got
go.
years on me. I'm not youngin' either. He's the youngin', Steven.
Yeah, thank you. I think one of the biggest things that we try to find, and I think what, at least for me, is the most value is what can somebody contribute. People cling to something when they're getting something out of it, and that's our human nature. But what you find is that it never becomes as valuable to the person as when they've actually figured out what they can contribute to it, as opposed to what they get out of it. They really get more value from their contribution than they get from taking. And, you know, that's really what we try to build towards and figure out, where does everybody fit into this puzzle with their contribution? And, you know, we've got things like, right now we have a team tech here on our Miami team that was not our team tech. He was just a player, Kai, you know, Wolf. And, you know, he was just a regular player, and then he started getting into sniping, and he's become, you know, over the years, he's definitely become a talented sniper. I hate when I start hearing those individual shots as opposed to a barrage of shots, because I know it's Kai out there trying to pick my ass off. And but he just, when we got into airsoft and we realized that everyone is spending a fortune getting guns fixed and leaving their weapons at the shops, which are overloaded with business down here. And, you know, it's taking them months, you know, to get a gun tech because the shop has a line out the door. Kai figured out how to work on guns himself. And now what do? When we're out there playing and I've got an issue, I'm like, you know, here, take this weapon and bring it back next week. And he's over there working on it, you know, and we'll have people who are like, you know, the gear guys that know what gear to get, and they're researching and they're buying stuff and testing stuff out, and they're helping everybody out. You know, Robo's one of them. You know, it helps us all figure out how to get our stuff situated, because it's difficult. You know, and we'll have guys that are just players, but we don't know where they fit in as a player. And what we're trying to do is figure out what is it? You know, are you the person that is going to be running around the edge of the field and, you know, a route that I'd be on the floor if I tried to run that far, that fast, you know, but we got some guys with the super cardio. You know, we want your ass to run around and radio us when you're behind the enemy position so we can surround them. You know, it's just a matter of finding out where people fit in. And I feel like until we find out what they can take from the team and what they can contribute, they never really become, you know, what I would say is this person is a permanent member of this team. This is a piece of our puzzle. Once they find that, then, you know, then it's just such a natural thing. They're just such a natural element to our team. We have our gunny Tank. You know, this guy came out to Hell Day and, you know, really took the reins on so much of the Hell Day. We didn't expect that. We didn't plan for it. We just know, which is just a weird way about us, we know that it's going to fall together the way that it's supposed to fall together. And it turned into such a tremendous Hell Day for us, because they're all different. And a lot of that was due to our gunny just, you know, off the top of his head saying, oh, I got something for them. I got something for them. And by the time all said and done, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, what a contribution you've made to this. I never expected you to, I wasn't even sure he was going to make it, to the point that, you know, some of the key elements to it were his just spur of the moment contributions. And, you know, it really shows that the formula is right. Nothing matters besides this formula. This formula works, and it just, we can always have faith it's always going to keep working. It finds a way.
Exactly. The formula, we allow individualism be the main, and then we start to see the weaknesses and the pros of this. And we let it, everything is organic, man. We don't force anything. If someone ends up leaving the team, it's because they made that decision. Whether they did something really fucking stupid, or they just, you know, how nature does itself, it just weeds itself out. We don't force anything. We try to, it kind of like how a sculptor works. They have this big fucking rock, but they know there's something inside that rock. And they chisel it. You know, maybe they have an idea and they'll make some lines and chisel that, but they have no idea what that thing's going to look like. It's in there. And that's how we...
During the last Hell Day, one of the exercises was for them to carry a 450-pound log. Some of the guys had already passed out and had to be woke back up. We had one guy face down in the creek with an IV. Didn't know how he got there or got the IV. He would have drowned in 1 inch of water had we not, you know, he had smoke grenades all over him and he was vomiting till he passed out. But they got on this log and they started carrying it up and down the hills. We sent him down the hill. Then we had him stand the log up vertical. I took one of our veterans, our Army veterans, and I told him to climb up on the top by himself of a 10-foot log as it was being supported by all his other men. And I had him climb up on the top. And of course, when he sat down on the top and finally made it on top of this log, he felt like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
When it happened, they were so proud of themselves that I started singing the Star Spangled Banner. And when I started singing it and they all tuned in, the masculine voices singing the Star Spangled Banner echoing through the hollow was so beautiful that there were people crying. There were trainees crying. We had people on the side that were watching that the two girls from the Tryhards held hands and started crying and tearing up because this was a victorious moment for them. And it was very, very powerful. Even though spontaneous, it organically worked. And by the time it was done, they were able to take home that special little piece of that where their arms are around each other holding this log and they're sweating and they're bleeding and they're nauseous and they're sick, but yet victories were obtained. The log was climbed, the song was sang, the feeling was there. Now get your asses in my ditch because I'm fixing to do it again. So, I mean, that's how it went. And when you watch the video of that Hell, I can't even watch it without tearing up. I mean, it was a victorious moment for trainees 40 minutes into it that just allowed them to feel our flag for a minute. And I mean, and that's important to me. You know, people don't value it like they did when I was a kid. So giving them those values is what moves me. You know how many brothers I got underneath that flag that you keep talking about, man? You know, let me give you a 1% feeling of what it feels like. Don't just look at it. Don't just sing to it. Don't just learn about it. But I need you to stop and I need you to feel it for a minute. Because these guys that are helping you hold up that log right now, you just got a new family. And you are being reborn under an American flag, under an American song, with American brothers singing the same who feel just like you do. You have found your equal, my brother.
Yep.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Yeah. Well,
We
man,
love
it's been great having you guys on. I am definitely motivated
Hey, if
and
you
inspired.
You ever come up to Miami, brother? We got a place for you. My house is your house. Come on up. We'll treat you like family, which means we'll talk mad shit about you right to your face.
Absolutely. I would hope so. Well, listen, man, it's been awesome to meet each one of you guys. Like I said, I didn't know anything really about you guys until today. So thank you to Laz again. Shout out to the Tryhards for setting this whole thing up. But yeah, it's been great. So I appreciate you all being on here,
brother. Thank you. God bless you for your service, my brother. We do appreciate you, and thank you, sir. We do too. And thanks for putting a spotlight on some of the teams trying to make it out there. We do appreciate you, and you just got some new guys to watch it. So thank you, and shout out to Laz for us. We are very grateful.
Laz.
Hell yeah.
We'll be on July 30th. We'll be at the Drug Wars 2, which is in Matrix. That's Laz's the Tryhards event down in Homestead, Florida. So we'll be out there. We're gonna have some guys up at Sirius Viking again up in Perry coming up with TCA. We try to stick to TCA events. We love Third Coast events. We've had a great time with them. Anybody who's in the Kentucky area, Western Kentucky area, Scottsville, Kentucky is where our team is and where the shop is. They can literally just stop anywhere in Scottsville, Kentucky and say, where do I play airsoft? And everybody's going to know what to tell them to do. So that's where people can find us. We are online. We'll keep active on your Discord and appreciate you. Anytime we get to meet up with you, we'd be happy to do that.
Yes, absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. What is the name of your store, Toby?
Scottsville Sk8 and Airsoft.
Okay.
And if we just want to help kids. That's all we want. We don't even really do it for profit. I'm kind of retired, so we just do it. So if they can't afford it, we're going to work with them to get them guns, man. We want to do this, get the sport out there just like what you're doing with this podcast. And like I said, we're very grateful.
Yeah. Cool, man. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
Semper Fi, brother.
You were done.